We also found when about a year into variety streaming, we found that this was perfect for sponsorships. And we were able to do almost a sponsor a day, showcasing and helping launch and consulting a brand new game every day. And it worked out very well because we were able to actually say to our community, like, subscribe if you can,
Right.
but you don't have to. We're now financially supporting ourselves from sponsors.
Yeah.
The sponsorships that we've collected, that's how we're financially supporting ourselves. So don't worry too much about donations. And because of that, it makes such more relaxed environment. People watch to have fun. They don't feel like they need to, I got to donate every day and I got to subscribe and I need to subscribe.
Welcome to Tarkov, a podcast for content creators to come on and share their stories, experiences, and advice. And today I'm super excited to have Blue and Queenie. Welcome.
Hey.
Yeah, so glad you guys were able to come on and hop on the pod here. And the way we start, we do a few random questions. So are you guys ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we'll start with Queenie. Queenie, what was the last TV show or movie you watched?
Oh my God. It would be, I've watched an anime called I'm the Villainess, and that's what I've been watching last, and it's really good fun. I just watched it on a whim. So yeah, that's it.
Nice. And Blue, how about you?
I just watched Long Legs, the movie.
Oh, okay.
That was yesterday. It's a cult horror, but it's also like a detective film. It's really cool. It's really good. Really good. Really, really, really good. Definitely recommend.
Long Leg?
Yeah, it's creepy as hell.
Sounds horrible.
Creepy as hell.
Next question. So, Queenie, when you're going out, what's your favorite thing to eat?
Pizza, I think. Because pizza's very easy. You're not going to go wrong with that.
Yep.
So I always try and go with pizza.
Yeah, does pineapple belong on pizza?
No.
Okay.
No, and there's worse pizzas out there. There's a mayo and pea pizza.
Ooh.
There's there's curry and banana pizza in Sweden as well. And it's crazy what people put in pizzas.
I had somebody on who puts ketchup on his pizza, and it's like, no, I don't think so. That's not right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And how about Blue? When you go out, what's your go-to meal? What's your favorite?
I like a curry.
Oh, nice.
Classic Indian style curry, gorgeous.
Yep.
Yeah. Curry on pizza. I'll do it.
All right. So, Queenie, you're walking through the apartment, the house, and what movie or TV show's on that will stop you and you have to, watch it no matter what?
Spirited Away from Studio Ghibli. That's just the best one to watch. No matter what time of year it is, it's just so nice and magical and just chilled out. That's dead on the one I want to watch.
Yeah, any Studio Ghibli film, me too. Yeah. Any Studio Ghibli film.
There we go. Awesome. All right, let's jump into it. So, Queenie, who were you before you discovered the whole content creation space? What's your background?
I always sort of work in like either sort of retail type of jobs and stuff like that. But I've always gamed. So I started PC gaming quite like young. I always gamed on like PlayStation, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I started going to PC gaming, I think it was like 12 or 13 on like Battlefield 2142.
Yeah.
And then that's the game that actually started getting me into the community side and playing more, like, and going into clans and things like that. And I ended up around the gaming clan route.
Yeah.
And then I started running tournaments for Battlefield in Battlefield 4. Yeah, I used to run them. And it was basically like, it was Vipers versus Eagles is what we called them.
Yeah.
And we would just put like a load of clans on one team, a load of clans on the other. And they'd basically be like seasons. So they do seasons with that and stuff like that. And then we try and make the teams even. So that was what we got into, or at least that's what I sort of like started with. And then that's actually how I met Blue, weirdly enough, because I tried to get Blue's clan into the tournament as well.
That's right. It's so funny when a lot of people say like, oh, I wish my girlfriend played games. And it's like, yeah, you were like a hardcore gamer, like way before I met you at all.
Yeah, I played so much, like from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. It was it wasn't exactly an addiction, but that was my main games. Like I didn't really sort of leave them. If I wasn't like playing the games, I was trying to organize something else or was involved in forums. It was just like, I don't know. It was, I suppose it's like an escape because I was from the countryside. So like, there's nothing else to do.
Right.
The
Like, it's
Irish
just,
countryside.
there's nothing there. So like, gaming was my little escape away from everything. It was great.
Yeah, and Battlefield 4 to me it was one of my favorite battlefields. You know, with the DLC they came out, it was just you know, they could just redo that one and drop it, and I think that would be awesome.
Yes, yeah. So currently the newer battlefields I don't really like. It's not what I like new as Battlefield. Like I knew the community spirit and like the whole like you jump on for a quick game and you enjoy it and you have fun, but you still have your friends, you still have clan tags, stuff like that. You still have community servers you'd always go to because you know they're gonna have a good game, right?
Yeah.
But the current ones are not for me. So what I'm hoping for is exactly what you said, where if they do another game like Battlefield 4, even if they remade it, I would be jumping on that game.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, Blue, who are you, or what? You know, what's your background before you discovered this whole content creation space?
So I was gaming from like a super early age. I was playing kind of like XCOM, Enemy Unknown, Age of Empires, Red Alert in like 1996, 7. And then in the year 2000, I kind of discovered online gaming. And I was playing Alien versus Predator, which is like it's a game similar to Aliens.
Yeah.
So you got pulse rifles and you're battling against other players trying to evac off a ship before it blows up. And that was like a complete gem.
Yeah.
Complete gem with text chat and shooting aliens that respawn. It's like, you know, you got to evac off the ship. Brilliant. And I worked similar to Ro, growing up, working in retail. And then I moved into like agency work. To do with marketing and graphics and websites and things like that. And during playing Battlefield 4, I started a YouTube channel. And then on this YouTube channel, what I did with my clan is I got my perspective and one of their perspective. So we would play together, and then we would sync the game footage together, and we would publish that on YouTube.
Oh, nice!
So it was a little bit different.
Yeah,
and it looked awful because it's like a 16:9, but you've got the two. It didn't look great at all. No editing at all, just putting the two videos together. But that was kind of the first concept of split screen gaming that turned into streaming after I met Queenie in Battlefield 4 during the clan tournaments that she held. That's when we came up with the idea of like, okay, what if we start split screen streaming? This is after we moved in, of course, because there was no way of doing it virtually over the internet yet. Like there was no Discord back then. So we had like 2 computers, put it together, and that's where the channel came from.
10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago.
Holy cow. Yeah.
That was 10 years ago in March.
Yeah.
Wow. And the technology back then probably didn't make it easy to do split screen streaming.
No. So I was always a massive fan of survival games. And we were playing dayz. So we started off in dayz. It's called dayz now, but it was dayz standalone back then.
Right.
And we would go on adventures together with the split screen, which made the stream super unique because in dayz, hardcore, when someone dies, you can't see the other person's perspective.
Right.
So because there was 2 of us, if I got killed off, if I got shot, we could switch camera to Queenie.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So that's how our channel blew up.
But we had, the thing is, when you switch between screens on OBS back then, there's a 3-second delay.
So you'd be
switching.
Oh God.
Just black. Yeah, so we'd switch screens. And 10 years ago, OBS was actually called something else.
Yeah.
And it wasn't called OBS Studio. It was called just OBS Live or something like that.
It was Live or
very
something.
similar but different.
Time ago.
But it didn't work really. And whenever we just switched screens, there was just black.
Yeah.
3 seconds of black. And that's what live streaming was. You know, it was very raw, no editing, no filters, no special editing of any kind.
Yeah, I've had a few creators on like Deadly Slob and Clean, and you know, they talked about, you know, those early days of streaming. It was like the Wild West.
Yeah. There was no tutorials on YouTube. We had now talking about dayz, if you're in Electro 10 years ago, you're on about 10 FPS.
Yeah.
Oh
So
God.
my PC, so back then we only had 2 computers. So we would take Queenie's perspective, put it into my computer, and then put it on, merge the perspectives and launch it to Twitch. So my computer was like running like 9 FPS, playing dayz while streaming. But because dayz itself was so raw, it actually worked out. It worked out very well, didn't it? Everyone had 9 FPS.
Yeah.
You know, we're very fortunate.
really
We
bad,
built
yeah.
PCs. You know, we build PCs so we could build a PC that could kind of do everything.
So when you had a bug in game, you were like, "Is that my PC or is that the game?" Oh well, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. No tutorials. You know, we actually, for the first year of streaming dayz with OBS, we actually had to reset OBS every stream, and that would take about an hour and a half.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Wow.
So we were working. We had 9 to 5 jobs.
Yep.
And we would stream 4 times a week. And OBS was that bad that we had to reset, reinstall OBS, apply everything. You couldn't import and export profiles and scenes. You had to do everything.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
it was fun. It was an interesting time. We learned so much.
And also the mod tools you had back then, probably weren't anywhere near what they have today, to filter out all the, bad things that are on the internet and whatnot.
Yeah, there's no filter. Yeah,
there was no filter at all. Yeah,
there was no filter. No, and there's no like etiquette or anything like that. Like it was just people would just randomly ask you weird stuff that wouldn't be normal. So.
We were quite lucky. We had our fair share of trolls.
Yeah.
I think every streamer does. Yeah. That's kind of a rite of passage. But we were very community because we came from clan backgrounds.
Yeah.
We instantly wanted to make our own clan community or community. We called it.
Yeah.
And we had like a core group of 150 members.
Oh wow!
And it was a very kind of safe space from the get-go.
Yeah.
So it was very easy to defend the walls against trolls on our Twitch channel. We actually never really had a major problem.
Oh, that's good. And now, today, what role do each of you play in the content you create? How do you balance each other's strengths and ideas?
So that took a long time to balance. And I think that's what we struggled the most with at the start was because we both are obviously 2 different people. And technically there is a little bit of a culture difference from England to Ireland. Like there is, right?
Yes.
And we sort of learned that along the ways is that we're good at different things. For example, like I'm better at the number side and the finance side and generally like the live streaming type of thing. And Simon is better at the website, the emails, like all that type of stuff. Simon is generally very scheduled and I'm very I wing it. Everything I do is like completely like, on a whim type of thing. I think I've also got ADHD. We found that out in the last couple of years and that explains so much.
Yeah. We had a lot of problems where I was from like an agency background. So everything was scheduled so that we could kind of relax and have fun. But of course, Rose ADHD to have fun was just... We'll do it live. We'll do it on the day.
I'll do it right now.
It did conflict for a good number of years until we found a good balance.
You sort of like you got a little bit ill and you came off stream.
Yeah, so we streamed together with the dual perspective every day for 5 years.
Oh wow!
And I became anemic. I just couldn't really look after myself, and it was actually down to a gluten intolerance.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that at the time. It took several years to find that out, but I was falling asleep on stream. I was very ill, I had to come off. So I started focusing on the website and sponsors and marketing and industry, finding all that exciting stuff about. We came off dayz and became variety streamers, which is considered like Twitch partner and then established Twitch partner. It's a massive leap, very dangerous, very tough. But we made the leap and it worked out very successfully. Queenie ended up being mostly 90% solo on the channel.
Yeah.
I would pop on and off when we were playing co-op games and but that's the balance that we found now. So Queenie and your ADHD kind of goes live every day, has fun, no matter what, even if it's like, you're an hour late or whatever.
Yeah.
And my enjoyment is actually doing the marketing and speaking to industry people and speaking to creators, and we still interact with that community extremely closely.
And on top of that, you do all the TikTok videos because you can I
actually work on our TikTok profile, which
you can edit.
Yeah, I learned how to edit videos. Now I had a lot of downtime. Okay,
Right.
when you're doing like 60, 70 hours of streaming a week, and then you go to 0, you got a lot of time on your hands. Even though I was fairly ill. So I learned how to do the website, the sponsorship deck, and all of that came from me being ill. It actually worked out because there was no way we could have done that, gone into the industry and became one of the largest sponsored creators in the UK to work streaming together for 80 hours. It just wouldn't have worked.
It's not possible.
It was actually kind of a stroke of luck. It wasn't deliberate by any means.
It's sort of why I think we're still going. I think a lot of our friends sort of quit because of all the stuff. Like at the end, it sort of does make you burn out, but because we got sort of I don't know what happened in a way, but it just sort of worked out in the end where while it does suck, Simon got ill, it was very tough for me to try and figure out how to go solo. That was like not having the other person there to talk to for quite some time. I was like, I don't know what to say. Should I be speaking? Shouldn't I? So getting used to that. And then Simon obviously getting used to the fact that he's now like more in an agency side. Yeah. It took a wee while to get used to, but it actually, I think, saved the channel in a way, to be honest. So Simon stepping back and then actually stepping back in one way, but actually putting himself forward in another really sort of helped us out.
It worked. It was an accidental, great bit of luck.
Yeah. It's, and my wife and I were sort of yin and yang too, sort of those opposites, but it works. And same with your balance. And you're right. Streaming it's a tough career. If you're solo, you're either there by yourself, you don't have that human to human interaction. And, like you're saying, if you're streaming 40 hours a week, that's a lot of time that over time, it probably eats at you.
Yeah. It was a lot more than 40, wasn't it? It was a lot more. It felt like 80.
Well, when we first did it as well, remember we were working full time and then streaming. So what would happen is you would work, you were working day. I was working you working morning to day.
For the first year of our streaming.
Oh my God.
So we were working 9 to 5. Ro was working nights.
We were in our 20s.
And then we would stream 4 times a week, just for like 3 hours.
Yep.
But because of our unique setup, I think there was only one other split screen channel back then. Two Angry Gamers, who are like an amazing friend of ours. It was a very unique channel. So it was we got Twitch partnered within that year.
Holy
and
cow.
once we got Twitch partnered, we were like, okay, damn. Well, this is getting serious now. We were doing it. We didn't even have a donation goal.
For like 4 or 5 months.
We didn't have a donation page. We didn't do any of that stuff.
I had one monitor.
There was no Twitch affiliation back then.
I had one monitor.
Yeah, we only had one monitor. And to read chat, you'd have your phone that was constantly fracturing and
it
crashing.
Constantly crashed. It never worked. Shit. Like it was literally like an occasion. So Simon had 2 monitors and I had one.
That was for OBS and game.
You had OBS and game. So I had he had a small little chat window and he'd be like, can you not see the chat? And I looked and it's because the phone app was froze. Nothing be moving for like 10 minutes. And I'd be like,
there was no Stream Deck back then as well. Everything had to be key bounded on a keyboard.
We had a little £10 keypad that was extra keys.
A little keypad used to do all the work for us. Yeah.
Oh, I remember the first Stream Deck was amazing compared to what we used to have for the keypad.
Yeah. And I got to say, your website is amazing. What you have up there, and all the links, the sponsors, your history, everything like that. The media kits. Nobody else I've come across in the 150 guests have anywhere near that up there, and it's such a game changer. It seems.
Yeah. So when I came off, I approached a popular brand at the time, and they were like, no, we don't want to work with you. I was like, why? It's like, well, we need to see your past history. We need to see your analytics and your demographics. And I built a basic one, and it's similar to the media kits you see on Twitter now.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's not good enough. We need to see what you did for the deliverables of that collaboration.
Yeah.
And I was like, right. All right, I'm going to fucking do it then. So I absolutely nailed it down, and I created not just the sponsorship deck, but the entire website. And the sponsorship deck, you're right, it's extremely detailed, but it's kind of what required.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at the deliverables and the brands we've worked with and the games that we've done. We've helped launch over 400 games now.
Yeah.
Paid collaborations, press and stage work and brand work.
Alpha game testing and stuff before web.
Consultations, actually. Consultations is not even on the deck, but we do that a lot as well.
Yeah.
So, I dived completely in. At this point, I know more industry people than actually other creators. So, So Rogue manages the other creators, and and I work with the other industry folks. So we have a we have a right split.
And the other thing that's on there are game reviews, which you don't see from other content creators. Other content creators will create YouTube videos, but there's no, oh, what's this game? And read it, and it's just they're really well done too.
Oh,
I think it's because we get to play them on stream when they're like being released, is that we sort of have a rough idea on them. And it was just something as a side thing. We don't really. Yeah,
the game reviews actually came from, so on our TikTok profile, we showcase new games. Yeah. And what I found myself doing is I was creating a script for a TikTok 60-second video.
Yeah.
And I created a script that actually ended up being like 5 minutes long, 6-7 minutes long. I was like, damn, what do I do with all this information? So I got to chop it down for TikTok, but then I wrote all this. So I wrote an article, put it in the game reviews, built the website side to that. And I was like, wow, I really enjoyed that. So now I think we've got almost 40 game reviews. Some are sponsored as well. So it's another deliverable we can issue to publishers and agencies. We've got, so Planet Coaster 2, I mean, we're in the middle of writing that. It's so quite unique. I don't think other creators.
You coming off as well, because you've actually been able to do the TikToks as well, which I don't think we would have had time for other than that, because you've done all those game reviews.
I don't think people understand how much goes into be a content creator. It's not just flipping on go live and you have to have all your socials, you have to do marketing yourself, your own sort of your own business, and then mix in being live but also being on. You can't just mail it in. You can't have a bad day. People don't want to come in and watch you be miserable.
Grumpy because you've spent all night editing a TikTok.
Yes.
So that's where, that's kind of where the difference is with our workflows. Mine is the website, TikTok, sponsors, and yours is Twitch and Twitter live streams and Instagram. So we're kind of like,
it's a nice balance.
I mean, we both interact. We both play with our community every night as well. But every night we'll jump on our Discord. And we'll be playing with our community as well. So because there is two of us, we get to do the work and we get to have a load of fun with our community.
Right.
And our community are the reason why we've been able to kind of stay around. They've been supporting us financially. We don't have YouTube ads. We don't do YouTube. So our community are the reason we're able to stay around for 10 years. Some of our community have been with us for 10 years since the first live stream. Some of them have got married. They've met in our community meetup. They've had kids.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
They're still with us.
Yeah. And now, going back to Twitch for a second, streaming, when did you guys start seeing that sort of momentum switch? Like, oh crap, we can now take this as full time, not sort of do have a dual careers.
So 2 weeks before we got partnered. And I'll tell you why. It's because it was we got partnered around about like August, September time. And I remember this very clearly because I went to my work in April. You'll remember this because it really, really upset me. And this is months before I said something like, Twitch is doing pretty well. I'd like to sort of drop down my work hours, to part-time. I've seen other people do it, so can I do it? And I was doing a lot of like tech things for them, like, PC things. So I was in a manager role and I was helping them with tech as well. And they turned around and flat out said no.
Oh. And
I was like, okay, why? And he says, well, just give it a couple months. We're a bit busy right now. So give it a couple more months and that'll be fine. So August came, it was about to come. It was the end of July. And I said again, and they said, no, you should quit streaming. That's ridiculous. And all this stuff. It's not a real job. You can't make it out there. You should focus your career here. And that's the end of it. And I was like, right. so after everything that I've done for years and years here, and I'm helping you with all the tech issues you have, you want me to just quit what I'm doing as it may be a hobby now, but it's still my
Right.
fun. Like it's that. So they refused to let me drop down. They'd let other people, but not me. And I was like, right, there's obviously something wrong with that. So I just turned around and said, okay, fine, I'll go and find another job. It's like so literally within that week, I applied for a part-time call center job.
Yeah.
That would give me whatever hours I wanted, whenever, and they hired me within 2 days. And
shoot.
I literally went into the other job, even though it was, better pay type thing. I just said, like, here you go, here's my notice. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing my 2 weeks. I give you notice for months and months, and you did not treat me very well. So here's my notice. And then that week when I started that like part-time job, we got partnered. That literal week, and I was like, "That's the sign that I did the right thing."
Absolutely.
Simon's job was fine. They didn't mind. They were like, "Yeah, it's fine. You can take your hours down." Mine was the problem because mine was the up and down hours. Simon's was 9 to 5. They didn't care what Simon did, but mine was up and down. So
and then I think about 2 years in. So first year we got Twitch partner. Second year we decided, right, we're ready to quit our part-time jobs. At that point it was both part-time. We're ready to quit our part-time jobs and put all our energy into Twitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now going back, was there certain events that happened, or was just a gradual increase in your viewership and your community started getting bigger, or were there some events, key moments that like, holy cow, we went from X viewers this week and 2 weeks later you're up?
We've actually had a very slow build compared to other creators. We haven't had any like massive volcano moments. It's actually been a very slow build.
Yeah.
And what we found over time, over 10 years, is that actually that's probably for the best. Because when you get Twitch partner, a lot of people go, congratulations, you did it. I'm going to move on to someone else who wants Twitch partner as well. There's actually like a Twitch partner hype crowd.
Underdog.
The underdog crowd. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so it was a very slow build, but it's paid off in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've had a lot of Twitch partners who had that volcano moment and then it's flatlined.
And it sucks.
Overnight, flatlined, and
And now for you guys, how big was getting that Twitch partner, that check mark for you guys?
Yeah, it was massive.
Huge at the time. Yeah.
It was massive. We applied once and they replied saying, look, you need to work on your quality of stream. So you guys are great. You guys are great, but your hardware needs work on. And that was a challenge back then because the technology wasn't very good. But we did invest into better microphones. So instead of headset microphones, capture cards and things like that. And we did. We got premium, high quality. We put a bit of our savings into it. And next time we applied, we got Twitch partner.
Nice. And now, I've had other people on, Twitch partner was great. And, nothing changes. You just keep doing what you're doing. And I had Ash Vandalay on, who's sort of a racing content creator. And she said what Twitch partner gave her was it gives her sort of validation to sponsors and brands to say, oh, it's an achievable thing to approach brands to say, who may not even know what Twitch is. Oh, okay, you've got the check mark. You're legitimate. That was a big thing for her. It was like, oh, that's a unique way of looking at it.
Back then, there wasn't any sponsors.
Yeah.
There just wasn't any. It was kind of frowned upon, actually. If you got a sponsor, you were a sellout.
Oh, shoot.
And it wasn't until about 8 or 7 years ago where getting a brand to sponsor your channel was seen as a positive thing. Like, well done for you. You got the hustle. Well done,
Yeah, I don't really know what changed. Maybe it was just the fact that more games were out on Twitch that were sort of like merged.
Larger streamers receiving brands, and then it's okay. Well, what we find is a lot of the larger streamers, the 20,000 viewership streamers, they kind of set the tone for the rest of the platform.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what happened. But we got our first sponsor and nobody batted an eyelid. It was
nice.
Yeah, very, very successful.
And now, when did you guys transfer from sort of being the dayz streamer to variety? Because, with a lot of creators, making that jump from their main game to variety it, you know, it could be like a death wish. You know, your viewership just goes down.
Well,
PUBG.
PUBG. dayz had an issue. It was a very early access game, very raw, very broken. You know, that was its charm. But there was one patch, one update that was very broken.
0.6, the big one.
And it didn't work at all. And they didn't fix it for a year or so. And that forced us to start looking at other games. We moved to PUBG.
Yeah.
We were one of the first UK PUBG partners.
Okay.
We worked closely with the team. And then we kind of found like our viewership grown even larger. And we were like, wow, we can do more custom games, community events. And that's how we became Variety. We use custom events to create unique PUBG, like hostage, VIP, stuff that didn't exist in the main game.
Right.
And we realized we could do variety. It wasn't just PUBG anymore. It was we changed that entire game to something that we wanted.
Moving to Minecraft and Fall Guys as well.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
Then we could hop. I think we actually did a stream where we went from Minecraft to Call of Duty. And then, you know, we could actually go. It's very dangerous and very risky to go
from a main game
to your main game to variety. It's actually very really dangerous, but it sets you apart. So you have Twitch partnership, and then you have established Twitch partners, and the established Twitch partners are the people who can go variety and go from different games without losing viewership. Typically, we've had friends who have played Sea of Thieves. That's their game. They played it for 7 years. And they've got a large audience of 300 people. Okay, that's great. But if they play Minecraft or Dead by Daylight, the viewership is now 10.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard.
It's very tough.
I don't know how. Like I think for us, because we went from dayz to PUBG. Even PUBG for us, we dipped down by half. But we built it slowly up again. It actually did work, and I think it's because we made it in such a way where we went from one game but PUBG isn't too far off of dayz, so sort of moving that and like in having fun and enjoying it with your community worked for us. But some people just jump from one extreme to the other, and I think it's very hard. So variety, like there's a certain way to do it, and I think thankfully somehow we did it by accident in a way, and it sort of worked. And I know you're probably saying, well, PUBG and Minecraft not the same at all. Technically no. But it was more of like, okay, a lot of the people who played PUBG, we had a community server, and this is, I play I grew up with Minecraft, of course, I love it. I'll go check it out.
Yeah, I think Minecraft definitely helped catapult us to becoming established Twitch partners.
As well,
nice. Yeah, being Variety's got to take such a load off your shoulders as streaming is like, because I've got a whole bunch of creators that stream Tarkov, and they stream Tarkov for years.
Yeah.
But you live and die by that, and then you end up playing a game you don't enjoy. But Variety, hey, let's switch it up, and it's just must make it so mentally relaxing than just that one game.
Yeah. A lot of our friends from dayz went to Tarkov. We actually played it on its release day as well.
we're Tarkov actually had a partner program when it was released. We still actually have that badge on our profiles. Although we haven't played that game for like 3 years. It gives you extra guns whenever there's a wipe.
Right, yeah.
Deadly Slob and...
It was like a pack or something like that.
There was only a handful of us. I only know Deadly Slob as the other creator in our social circle who got it. But...
a long time ago,
we actually found there was too many hackers for us in Tarkov, so we ended up leaving that game.
Yeah, I know it's changed now, of course, because we have a lot of friends who play it, like Hayes and stuff. So it has changed definitely. But back then it was just a bit too tough for us because there was two of us, and if one, like, we thought, okay, it'd be great because if one of us gets wiped, the other one, nope. If it's a hacker on the server, you're both dead.
Yeah, right.
So.
But you're right. We have a lot of friends who play Escape from Tarkov. They've been on it for 5 years, and if they switch to anything else, they've lost their entire viewership.
It's such a hardcore game, though. That's why.
It's a difference between like you're playing a game and the people watching you, they're a fan of that game.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you're playing Variety, you switch to Minecraft and then you switch to Call of Duty and then you switch to Tarkov, all in one stream. You find that the people who are watching are actually, they're your fans now. They're your
Right.
followers. They're your following. And I don't think it's a number that is trackable because it is your following, your core audience.
Yeah.
Ours is about 150. If we switch games, we have a very core audience. And that's, I guess, because we're community focused.
Right. Yeah, your community is what you've built up over the years. They're there to watch and interact with you guys, then watch you play a certain game.
Yeah, that's right. We also found when we about a year into variety streaming, we found that this was perfect for sponsorships, and we were able to do almost a sponsor a day, showcasing and helping launch and consulting a brand new game every day, and it worked out very well because we were able to actually say to our community, like, subscribe if you can,
Right.
but you don't have to. We're now financially supporting ourselves from sponsors.
Yeah.
The sponsorships that we've collected, that's how we're financially supporting ourselves. So don't worry too much about donations. And because of that, it makes such more relaxed environments. People watch to have fun. They don't feel like they need to, I got to donate every day and I
Right.
got to subscribe and I need to subscribe. We don't need that. It's very relaxed.
Yeah.
So,
as a content creator, you guys don't have vacation days, no sick days. Luckily you have those sponsors who sponsor your stream that you don't have to rely on your donations and just live off going live.
So that's an interesting one. I totally agree with that. At the same time, I don't like taking days off ever. Like, I have had like tooth infections, and I went and got the dentist and got antibiotics, and still went live. And
yeah,
like colds, and even at one point, like, we thought it was COVID as well. So we just didn't leave the house for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
you aren't really phone sick.
We can't.
Yeah, that's not really an option. We've actually gone live. So for 10 years, we haven't really had a massive break. The longest break we've had, I think, is 2 weeks. That was when we were traveling in Japan.
Yeah.
And we were live streaming in Japan.
Oh,
We were
no
there
way.
for a month.
Yeah.
And we actually just said to the guys, like, look, we're taking 2 weeks off just to enjoy where we are, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for us. So that's it. 2 weeks has been the longest we've actually had off
Yeah. Yeah.
in 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we've always like I think we've always panicked because one time, this is years ago, this is like 2017, 2018, we took like 4 days away on a vacation for like Spain. This is like our full on first ever one together type of thing. We've been together like 3-4 years. It's like an anniversary type of thing. And we lost a large amount of like viewers and subs like that. And that ever since then, that sort of put us on a state of mind of like, we can't take time off. We can't.
It's very true. Twitch is very if you don't go live for a certain amount of time, people move on.
Right.
Or at least it's hard to build it back to the way it was when you get back.
You definitely
Luckily,
panicked.
when we were in Japan and we were live streaming, I think that was so special that when we did come back, there was no effect. Like, we didn't have any negatives, no downfalls. But yeah, you're right. Like 3 years ago, when we had that 4-day break, when we went
7 years ago,
when we went to 6 maybe, when we went to Spain, came back, and like our viewership was half, and it was like, wow, geez, that was a killer.
we didn't do it.
But that was
again
Twitch.
for
That was
ages.
Twitch. Yeah, that was Twitch like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
Now it's I think a lot more relaxed, and we've built up a lot more since then.
Yeah, we have.
So
Nice. And now, since going live, what are some of the more difficult things to deal with as a content creator and just going live almost every day?
looking after your health, I think, was the one for me.
It's a big one for you.
Like, I was getting ill. I was getting sick, and I didn't realize it was from gluten, from bread. But because there was so much to do with streaming and getting ready and going live and doing 10 hours a day, it was a lot of pressure to ignore your health and get live and, get in front of the camera.
Right.
I think I kind of, I didn't do a good job with that. But
I agree. I think you got really, I think for you with your health, it really sort of sucked because it was at a time when, we only just found out as well that I had we were starting to figure out what was wrong with not wrong with me, Jesus, but like that I had ADHD. Yeah.
ADHD, yeah.
Like I had that type of thing. So I was like, I'm just a bundle of mess in regards to
Yeah, a lot of
scheduling.
when I was ill, a lot of the responsibilities went to Ro.
Yeah.
My workflow ended up being on Ro.
So that's when we noticed.
And I think that's when we noticed, actually, ADHD is here.
Yeah, type of thing. So I think for that, going live every single day, it works, but I definitely forget a lot of little things where it wouldn't be so a normal job, you go in and you know exactly what you're doing because it's the same every single day.
Yeah.
On Twitch, it's not
Twitch
really.
is not the same every day.
No.
Yeah.
Something could happen, something on the news, something with some streamers done this and they've got
Windows
plans.
update, graphics update, OBS update.
Updates, Windows
Twitch's
update.
servers are broken now. Cameras mess up.
Yeah.
My wire snapped.
So no matter
there's 100 things.
Oh my God, yeah.
100 things.
The wire snapping. Yeah. There's so much you can't sort of stop yourself from having tech issues. You can't stop certain things and you will have panic and stress. So I think that's the thing that I've noticed the most is that we can try our best with it, but something can go wrong, and that's just the end of it with it. So I think that's the thing that we find over the years with Twitch, definitely.
Yeah.
And now, looking back over the span you've been live, what have been some of the highlights for you guys that you look back wow, that was a great moment?
I think hitting 2,000 subscribers for the first time, that was a massive deal. There's been a few key moments for community events with PUBG. We did a World War One trench either side, storming the trenches with 100 players, 100 whatever community. And it was with World War One only guns, and that was incredible. Playing dayz and getting a 50-man squad wipe or something, just the two of us, killing a group of 50 people all gillied up and
my 29 Glock kill in Electro with just the Glock and took out the ghillies.
There's been a few really incredible moments.
Yeah. Oh, got raided by Call Me Kevin as well. That was a great day.
Being raided by some extremely large creators that we really like watching as well.
Yeah.
That's been really nice.
Yeah, that's something unique about being a streaming on Twitch is when somebody raids you, they bring their mansion hot party to your sort of 1-bedroom little stream, and it's all of a sudden you go from X to quadruple X in viewers. What were some of those first big raids where you're holy crap, what do we do?
I think Sada Plays was a massive raid. It was 600 people at the time. That was our first raid.
Yeah,
that was our first raid. That was really good.
That was really cool. Yeah, we just were trying to answer chat as quick as possible. We did try, but
because there's two of us. It's actually okay to answer chat, but in that moment, it was oh my God, there's so many people typing. It's way too much.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And now for those people that are thinking about hitting that go live button, any tips or advice you have for them?
Ooh, it's different now when we start streaming.
It's very important to know that you can stream for fun, just to show your friends your perspective and just have fun. There's a lot of people going in who I'll quit my job. I'm going to be doing this full time now for the next. It's definitely not what it can appear to be. You can it is 50% luck. It's very tough.
It's not about
very
pressing.
tough.
Yeah,
it's very tough. You definitely most people can't go full-time streaming at the moment. Unless you're a content creator of a certain age. That's relatively confident to say. You definitely have to mix it in with other social media of YouTube and TikTok, and you can't just do Twitch solo. Networking, getting a group of friends together, and I think initially, if you are starting, just make it about fun.
Yeah. So Queenie, what in your opinion, what are some of the some advice you have for people hitting the go live button for the first time?
Well, yeah, a bit sort of what Blue's said is it's great to sort of go live, but don't think of it as a career in that way. Don't, especially not at the start, because it doesn't work that way. Because there's 6 million streamers. The best thing to think of is definitely have fun. 100%, like more just have fun and chill out. But if you do want to take it seriously, at that point, you're gonna have to think more about than just going live. Think about other content like ways and what else to do with your lives, like where else can you put it and stuff like that. Yeah, you're going to go down the route of, when you start looking at it more of a side of, right, you want to take it more seriously, or you just want to go and maybe make it from like just fun to hobby, because that's what it would get to next at that stage. Then you got to look at not just Twitch, you got to look at like, you know, how can I make this up to the next level? What's my next goal? Always have yourself something where you're going to like upgrade, or something you want to go next to. For example, like for us, every year we always had something that we want to try and get an upgrade to. Like, it's not always possible, but we always try to move in, whether that's the microphones or the monitors or the cameras. We always looked at one thing to upgrade to. And yeah, that's just how it worked out every year. This year was, well, actually last year, technically, because at the start of the year in January, it was the Rodecaster Duo we got as an upgrade.
Oh, nice.
And the year before that was
we upgraded our mixer to have less cables as possible. Our previous mixer had like attachments and lifters and
it was a nightmare, that one.
yeah, it was a bit too many cables. So this one's a bit more simplified.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, something I've, since jumping into the space that I really love seeing is the gamers that are doing charity events. Their communities are so generous. What are, what have been some of the more, moments that you guys have for, things you did for charity? And are there certain charities you guys focus on?
So we did one for Extra Life for PUBG. Oh my God, years and years ago, we did custom games for them. And that was so fun, because it was like, so we thought it was originally, we thought it was on our own channel. It was actually on theirs. So we went on and stuff like that. It says, yeah, go live on it and stuff. And we got to host custom games for people to join and raise charity money at the same time. It was so much fun. It was like, we're hosting on their channel. We get to, everybody gets to jump in, have fun.
It's like $1 million.
Wow. They raised like loads.
Yeah. And the target was hit. We got the target. It was a great great collaboration for charity. It was
they like raised loads over like a year, and it was great to actually jump in with them. And there's loads of other creators involved. We did a couple hours as well, and it was so much fun to host the custom games. That
was our largest charity event.
Nice.
That was great.
Yeah. Very cool. And now I see you mentioned you do your own podcast, the PJ Podcast. What is that?
Oh, so we've done this for like 3 years. It's sort of like something we've done. I came up with it a wee while ago, and it was just something like that we wanted to do as an extra. And Blue made all the artwork, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's a great idea. Do you know what? I'm going to start." And he started coming up with concepts for me. And I just said like, it'd be great to do a podcast about certain topics. So I was just, and he started making plans out for it and stuff. And he's like, we could put cameras here and cameras there. And he got excited.
This could work. This is a great idea. We actually ended up getting officially backed by Twitch as well. So we became an official Twitch podcast.
For
Which means we end up on Twitch's front page for the UK, Europe, Australia, America, which is really nice.
Excellent.
We've had some like celebrities as well, like sports celebrities on.
Yeah, the Polish Hammer.
Otherwise, we've had some content creators. It's been great. Our little PJ podcast that was made kind of just for fun, just to mix it up, just to do something different. Like, hey, we've done everything else. What haven't we done? And podcast was one of them. And we got lucky enough to be backed by Twitch.
It was something to do for fun, and to like also like have our friends on and different creators on and stuff like that. And showcase them. And it actually we kept going with it, and now we're on number 19. We should be doing this month, but it was just to showcase different creators and like speak about like creator issues or things like
Pride
that.
Month.
Yeah, we had Pride Month. And also we've done like a couple for ADHD as well, and like the stuff that you hear, like especially even for ADHD, like people come in and be like, I had this exact same thing. Oh my God, and all that stuff. Like I had the exact same way, and like this is what happened to me and stuff like that, and like just sharing. It's so interesting to see how people like sort of relate to the podcast and just listen, and we just want a place to talk about it at the same time. So it was a great little experience, but like it never was supposed to be like this. It just turned out in a.
We got very lucky with the podcast. It's very, very cool.
We got lucky, and also you did. You helped a lot. I don't think I would have done it, honestly. I just came up with it and he started getting ideas for it.
Yeah.
Nice. And now, how would you guys describe your community?
Oh.
Well, the goofy,
Chaotic.
tech-based gamers.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing.
All right.
Goofy, tech-based gamers.
Chaotic.
We definitely chaotic. We definitely make it's important for us to make a safe space so that everyone is welcome, no matter what your politics or your gender or your whatever you
What
identify
it has, or what country you're from, or
country.
Yeah.
So we have a Discord with about 10,000 people on.
Holy cow.
About 100 core active daily people, and the rest kind of float around.
Yeah.
But
from game to game.
we really enjoy Discord and playing games, not just on stream but off stream as well.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what the one is that we really love is actually BattleBit. We love that game. Like
So we host events
so
every
much.
weekend.
Yeah.
And we'll invite all our community, and we'll always choose a game that's built for massive co-op.
Yeah.
So 100 people, 50 people. That's kind of what we'll do on the
Nice.
weekends when we're not streaming.
All right. And now, for that person that's going to come into a Blue and Queenie stream, Queenie, what are they expecting? What are they going to, experience?
Random chats. So we'll move from one topic to the other within like 5 minutes, and we won't even know how it started. I think that's the best thing to say. Is like it's a chaotic ADHD mess of like, oh yeah, that's shiny. Oh, there's another shiny thing. Oh, I'm dead. I've murdered something in game. Oh, I'm now dead. Oh, what does this button do? I think that's the best thing to say. It's like it's just random chaos and also a lot of trolling, but mostly my mods and chat trolling me at the same time as me trying to troll back and failing. So it's like that.
Excellent.
It's very much that.
Oh. And now, when you disconnect, what are some things you guys like to do off camera? Clearly you still game, when you guys aren't streaming or anything like that. What are some things outside of streaming?
When we're not on the computers, when we're not on the PCs, we have a little pug.
Yeah.
He is disabled. He has a little wheelchair.
Oh, shoot.
So he takes a lot of our time. It's one of the reasons we actually jumped into sponsors.
Yeah.
He had a very large vet bill of about £10,000.
Wow.
And we had to pay it off. So we jumped into sponsors to help relieve those vet bills. We have ongoing vet bills. He gets acupuncture and heat therapy and painkillers. He's also got a new medicine as well now. But we opened up a merch shop, and all the profits of the merch shop go straight to his vet bills. We sell little Alfie plushes.
They're so cute.
I'm not sure. We have
And that's his name, Alfie?
Us. We have a few behind us.
Alfie.
That's right. Yeah, we have a few behind us on top of the shelves. Yeah, he's very adorable. He's very needy.
Yeah.
He takes a lot of our time up.
He does.
That's what we're doing.
He's like our baby. He is everything to us type of thing. And also he's been on the channel since he was born.
He's a chatbot. He has his own emotes. Yeah, he's been on stream a lot. We had him when we were Twitch partnered. So we had a puppy camera.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, he's like 8 weeks old. He's
celebrates his birthday on stream. He opens presents live on camera. The viewers can send in gifts to him. He's our world off Twitch world.
Nice. Yeah, he is. He's adorable. He may be a handful, but I think he's worth it over the time. And it's just been good fun.
Excellent. Well, hey, you guys survived the podcast, but before you go, like with the past guests, I look for you to recommend somebody in your circle that you think would have a good story to come on and share.
Ooh. Oh, over the 10 years, there's a lot of people.
Now, I've probably had a bunch of mine. You talked about Hayes. I've had, in your neck of the woods, I've had Hayes, Mr. Gibbons, Pep. There's a lot of great creators from that space over there.
Oh, there's a lot.
I don't know.
Too angry?
Two Regular Gamers are they're a duo, so they're not a couple.
Okay.
Two guys. They do split screening as well on their stream. They've been around longer than us. They're one of the first people to kind of do split screening.
Oh, wow.
They are a larger channel than us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well.
and they're good. They're good friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Now, who are they again?
They're good friends. Two Angry Gamers.
Two
Yeah.
Angry Gamers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy and Tommy. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
those two are absolutely lovely. You'll
Yeah.
have a good crack with those
Yeah.
two.
That'd be an interesting perspective of like what it's to be a duo
Yeah.
stream without being a couple,
Yes.
or at least that we know of.
Well, they're both married. So who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
All right. There's the rabbit hole that we just went down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for doing it. Really appreciate it. And anything coming up this year you guys want to make give a shout out to, or things that people should be looking out for?
We love Christmas time. We're going to be celebrating Christmas this year big. Usually we tend to go away to family, but we're staying home for this year with Alfie on Twitch. We're going to be doing massive community events. We're partnering up with massive brands to do huge giveaways.
Oh yeah.
Under the Christmas tree giveaways, the whole
So,
works. So
yeah.
we're going to be doing that. That's going to be the big deal
You're
for
looking
us.
somewhere to chill? Come chill with us.
All right. Well, hey guys, again, thank you so much for doing this. And good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.